Okay, Travis has given me the go-ahead that we are ready for City Council meeting. Thank you all for coming. City Council meeting, the first one in August of 2023. We'll have another one a couple weeks later, so if all you people that only live to watch council meetings, you'll get this one tonight, and you'll get one in 2 weeks. That's a lot of people.
Very exciting.
Right? That watch, yep. So council meeting in 2 weeks again. But thanks for coming to our August 1st council meeting. We'll start like we start every council meeting off. We'll start with a motivational message or prayer, and then followed by the pledge. And I don't remember who we had assigned.
I'll do the prayer.
This is prayer. Okay, Councilman Argyle, prayer, and Councilman Cardin, pledge. Okay.
Our dear Father in heaven, we gratefully come before Thee this day. Me here as representatives of the City Council and members of Spanish Fork City, blessing upon those first responders in this community. Watch over them, keep them safe. We're grateful for the many citizens in this community and their willingness to volunteer as we have celebrations and a just completed one. We're so grateful for each one of them service and the citizens in this community as we put on celebrations. And we ask and say these things in the name of Thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
All right, the audience will please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, for that. You see, we are missing Councilman Marshall tonight. He is away on business, and we'll get him back in our next council meeting. So we'll miss him, but the rest of us are here. We've got some great things that we're going to start our meeting off with that we're really excited. It's I don't want to say it's normal, but it's becoming a regular thing that we get to celebrate such awesome youth in our community for really performing well in every in what they choose to do, what skills they choose to hone and build and grow in. And so we've got 3 of those tonight that we're going to celebrate. And if you haven't seen this done before, I'll just give you a heads up. You hear that we're here, or that we're going to honor you. That we'll ask you to come up, say who you are, tell us what you've done, honor you a little bit, and then get a picture up here with you. But also cool is I get your signature on kind of your own little thing that hangs up in the mayor's office, which is becoming a cool tradition. So we have a few people that we're going to honor, and then we're going to honor employees of the quarter, and then we'll get to public comments after that. So in a row here, I have on the agenda first is Cooper Jacobs, the 2023 high school state champion bull rider from Spanish Fork High School. Come on up, Cooper. Just 1 million people watching on TV. Yeah, give him a round of applause. How many people were watching you ride a bull in the state championship?
Oh, there was quite a few. I couldn't quite tell you, honestly.
Where's it held at?
Heber City, Utah.
Okay, so up in Heber. And
Yes,
how long ago did this go down?
It was in June.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
In June. All right.
Yes, sir.
What? Any other questions you guys want to?
Where did you get your accent?
Just kind of hanging out with kids from Texas and Oklahoma, I guess.
Wow. Have you grown up here in Spanish Fork, though?
Yes, ma'am.
I love it when they say ma'am. Congratulations. That's super cool.
Thank you very
much. I kind of want to yell yeehaw, but that was last month.
That's
So,
all right.
Congratulations.
I appreciate that.
What was the score on your ball?
I think I was 82 on one of them and 83 on the other, I think. I'm not sure. I've rode too many of them to tell you.
Now, what got you into riding bulls? Did you lose a bet of get on this bull and see if you can ride it, or what?
No, not necessarily. I guess I just kind of grown up with it. My parents, and they were involved in it, and I've just always been around it.
Tell us who your parents are.
Chris and Katie Jacobs. They're sitting in the back row.
All right. Mom and Dad back there? Yeah. How you doing?
So, let's see. Totally drawing a blank on the Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw made famous the time of 2.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu.
I have actually been on a bull named Fu Manchu.
No way.
This,
And did you
this
go longer
March
than
it was.
Did you go longer than 2.7?
I did. I actually rode him for the full 8.
Full 8.
It was my first PRCA rodeo.
So you've already done a PRCA rodeo.
Yes,
so
sir.
So how long until we see you in Fiesta Days?
I was actually going to try and do it this year, but it wasn't able to work out with high school nationals.
Okay. So do you have you must have a PRCA card now?
I have my permit. Yes, sir. So you buy your permit, and once you've won, I think $1,500, you can buy your
You
card.
can buy your card.
Yes, sir.
So we should expect you next year in our rodeo.
Yes, sir.
That would be so cool.
Very cool.
You don't do the high school rodeo again?
No, sir. I'm through with that.
Okay. And who cares? You've won it. Why do it again?
Right. No kidding.
Yeah. So, yeah, you've said it here. This is a public meeting, so this is recorded, and Tara takes minutes. We're planning on you being at the Fiesta Days Rodeo 2024.
Perfect. Well, I plan on it.
All right, cool.
So just remember, when you were in Heber, there was like 4,000, potentially 4,000. You come into the Fiesta Days Arena, you got 8,500, and when they say Cooper Jacobs from Spanish Fork, the crowd will go crazy.
That's true. Yeah.
Fu Manchu will probably block in the chutes, which means you might have to reset, and that's okay. You've done that too.
Hey, that's all right.
But when that gate opens and the crowd goes nuts for you, you'll have to come back and tell us what that was like.
Yes, sir, I will.
I hope it's life-changing for you. That's super cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You have a favorite bull rider now that's in the PRCA that you'd like to, that you'd like them to get like a 90-point ride, and then you'd like to beat them 90 and a half or something? And
I don't know. I'm good friends with Hayes Waite. He's my traveling partner. He's from Goshen, Utah. He's top 15 in the world right now, and whenever he rides one, it pumps me up pretty good.
Yeah.
Makes me happy.
Yeah.
I cheer loud for him.
Well, I can tell you what, and I think the rodeo fans see this a little bit, but sometimes when we're just getting done with being behind the chutes and leaving to go back to our seats, Seth and I get to see this a little bit, and the council too, of whether it's riding broncs or bulls. Man, you guys are behind the chutes cheering as loud for your competition
Yeah, it's
as you are anything.
It gets pretty rowdy back there. Not in a bad way, but I mean, and like people cheering for you, and everybody wants you to do good. It's dang sure. It's a good thing.
So, Cooper, were you in Casper, Wyoming 2 weeks ago?
Yes, sir.
All right. I think we have a video of that. Would you be okay if we watch that?
Yeah.
What was your bull's name?
I think the one I got on in Casper was Soccer Mom.
All right.
I believe.
Soccer mom?
Yeah.
Did we go the full 8?
I have not
did,
vetted
yes,
this
sir.
audio, just so you know.
Oh, there might be something in it. Here we go.
Soccer Mom. That's a good ride. Oh my gosh. He just went 10 just
Yeah,
because.
he's like 10 for fun.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, what a great talent. What a great job. We're super excited that you call Spanish Fork home and that you're from here. And we can't wait to see you continue to excel in it. It's a little bit selfish that we want your autograph maybe before people are like paying money for your autograph, right?
I don't think I'll ever charge him, but
All right, good. But that's going to hang in the mayor's office.
That'll be great.
Again, anything else you'd like to say to Spanish Fork?
just thank you, everyone, and have a good day.
All right. Thank you, Cooper.
Thank you.
If you'll come shake their hands. Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Cooper. Thank you.
Congratulations, Cooper.
Appreciate it. Thank
Good job,
you.
Cooper.
Thank you.
Hey, you got a marker?
Thank you.
Where's your marker? All right.
And then Cooper,
Take them
come
back,
back here
Cooper.
now again.
So stand right here in front. Somebody's getting it.
Here we go. Mayor, you got to smile. Okay, thank you.
Trying to be
Cooper,
the
before you
cowboy.
leave, we're going to have you sign this.
Do you have that marker? She's got the marker over there. Let's roll it.
Thank you.
How many in the audience are singing, I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain climbing?
Congratulations.
I know somebody is.
Somebody
Maybe it's
is.
Austin, just
Got
you.
Tim McGraw on their mind.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's one down, a couple more to go. Thank you, Cooper. Appreciate you obliging us and coming here. Now we'll bring up the 2023. This is what's interesting about Spanish Fork. I mean, we've been here a few years, and state tournaments have been here everywhere from softball to drama to rodeo. And I think this is a cool one that the teacher deserves some credit. The kids do too. But rodeo and barrel racing and cutting and everything that we've been able to celebrate. But this one's a cool one too. Out of Maple Mountain High School, Mr. Masick is going to introduce his state champions. It's the national champions in welding from Maple Mountain High School. Come on up, guys, and your teacher can introduce you. Give him a round of applause. Mr. Masick, you've been having kids walk around with clanging medals around their necks for years now.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It never gets old to hear the cling. So over here on my left, your right, is the welding fabrication team. And we have Jackson Archibald, Walter Rose, and Josh Jackson. They'll be seniors next year at Maple Mountain. They won state in welding fabrication for Skills USA and then went to nationals. Competed against the best of the best in every state. You can only send one team and one individual from every state, so we beat out everyone else's best competitor in June in Atlanta in welding fabrication. And over here on my right is Benjamin Cornaby. He is a graduated senior. He won state, obviously, and then went to nationals and took first place. And currently is in the pre-trial process to possibly represent the United States in World Skills in Lyon, France next year. So we just barely got that started. So he's officially been accepted, and we've got a bunch of different levels for him to try and match up to. There's 12 others in the United States who are at that level. So we're hoping to get him further along there.
Wow.
That's it. Any questions?
Yeah, we want to hear them talk. What questions you want to? Look, he made that belt buckle that says.
I want to know, so I'm curious to know, what are you welding? What are you putting together?
Let's see. Our state project was a portable table, but it was pretty heavy. The legs folded in. And then our nationals project was a campfire grill.
And were you all welding before high school, or was this just something you picked up your sophomore year?
I think we've all welded. This is going to be our third year. We're going into our third year of high school welding. We started in welding. Masick started us.
Wow, impressive.
No.
So never welded before high school, but once you get into high school, it's like, hey, this is an easy A. Let's take Masick's. I'm just kidding. It's not
Very fun class.
Yeah. Cool.
What type of welding is it? Is it oxyacetylene? Is it? What are you using?
So the welding we do is every process of welding. So you got stick welding, MIG welding, flux core welding, and TIG welding. And basically, for my projects, I had to weld. They're called widgets. So they're not useful at all. It's basically a box you weld together. It's designed to test your ability to do certain welds in every position, just get you out of your comfort zone and test everything about it. There's also a written test and a inspection test as well.
That's awesome.
Not that life is all about money, but you guys are going to be set up for some good careers in the future. Way to go.
Tell us more about that, Mr. Masick. What's the economic appetite, if you will, for people that have skills like this?
Yeah, they have a wide variety of opportunity for career, whether it's post-secondary into a 2 or 4 year degree or a certificate. I've had a lot of students that have just graduated high school and gone on to start their own companies and are providing for their families that way. So there is a statistic out there that 60% of the current workforce in welding will be retiring this year, which is about 90,000 people, and next year they're going to need another 90,000 people. It's kind of the attrition that a lot of the average age of a welder right now is 59, and it's not getting any lower. So there's a lot of demand across the country. If you're willing to travel, you can definitely earn a good living that way as well. So these boys, soon to be men, do have a skill that's in need across the country, for sure.
That's awesome.
And I imagine you're using some computer programming as well to do some of the welding. It's not just with hands, but you might draw some up and then use computer-aided tools to do some of the welding, some of the cutting and things like that.
Yeah, we do have at Maple Mountain and all the schools in our district here in Nebo, we do have computerized plasma cutters. We haven't got any robotic arms or cells just yet for welding, but we do have a CNC plasma cutter, which you've probably seen some really cool signs around town. I think one of the most recent ones I've seen is the Fellas Chop Shop. Their sign in front of their storefront was all CNC plasma cut and then welded together by, his name now flights my memory, but a local.
Smithworks, maybe?
Yeah.
Was it Smithworks or Barber?
No, it was a student. It was a student that graduated from Spanish Fork High.
That's awesome.
I never taught him, but I follow him on the social medias, and he put that together and did it for the Fellas Chop Shop.
I think this is one of the greatest things that our school puts out is students that are really job ready when they finish, especially this caliber as we get to celebrate these national champions.
Well, I can tell you, sometimes in this position, we get some companies, some local companies, that give us tours of their facilities and what they do in there. And part of it is when they do tell us the programs that are going on in our schools and then local colleges and things like that, how important that is for their company to survive and keep going and get the next contract and everything that they do that makes a good living for people in this community. So it's really cool to see that from this level, you're giving that next support rung to these big companies. We're talking huge companies that need these skills, and so, man, it's going to be a life skill to know.
Mayor, fun side note. I'm over here.
I do. Yeah. I thought that was coming from here.
Just came out of nowhere, didn't I? These guys helped build the North Wind for Festival of Lights. I don't know if it was them specifically or your team. You might want to say something about that.
Yeah, so we did a couple things for the city this last year. We built 120 crosses for the cemetery in about 3 days. I mean, we hustled through those real fast. And then we rebuilt an archway on the exiting side of the path. You're on that golf cart path or the bike path, and didn't used to be an archway, but we put in some posts and put in an archway to hang some lights from, I think, some giant snowflakes. And so, I don't know if you came up. No, it was my senior class this last year that came up, and we kind of did some stuff before school and after school, and it was cold, but we got it done. Yeah.
Well, very cool. Thanks for your help to the city. But Mr. Masick, thanks for keeping this tradition alive and getting young boys that are turning into young men in something that is really a cool skill. And we love celebrating it. It's becoming a tradition. So we expect it again next year. So no pressure, guys. No pressure. But yeah, this is very worthy of us giving you a round of applause, but the whole community as well. So give them a round of applause.
We want to hear the clang too. Let him ring.
Thank you. Congrats. Congrats. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Masick, I'm going to give you all these gifts. Thank you. And then they need to sign this. I feel
Can you guys come back up for a photo?
And that's all right.
We'll get you another one. We'll get you another one with Job. We need your signatures.
And then we need a picture.
Yep, and then we need a picture. One of you aren't on there. I don't know which, but you're going to sign it anyway.
Shake your hand. There we go.
For their sake. It's not a wedding line.
They've already got doctors.
I was going to say, if they don't become welders, they could be doctors. Yes. There you go. Right over the face. Thanks, Jared.
Thank you very much.
Got a picture right here. Picture time. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, Stacy, you'll have to remind me how the saying goes of like, is it brawn before beauty or beauty? I can't remember how that goes, but
Yeah, beauty's, I don't
usually,
know.
but
Before bronze.
we're going to celebrate beauty now. So, thank you to Utah State Miss 2003-2024 for being here today. Come up. All of you that are here, and who's introduced? Stacy, you probably know these people. You can introduce these people to us.
Yeah, come on up. Well, who's the spokesperson for you guys? Come and tell us about the Miss Cinderella pageant and how you're all related, because that's really cool
That's
too.
right. Yeah.
We're sisters, and then this is our niece.
Sisters and niece.
Yeah,
Okay.
we all compete in the Utah Cinderella Scholarship Pageant, and we currently just won the state titles, and we also just competed in the internationals, where all of the states and all over come to recompete, and we both won together photogenic, and I made top 10.
And I won first alternate to beauty.
Yes.
Tell everybody what your names are.
Here, you want to go first? Say hello, everyone.
Is this Jax?
Yes. Can you say
Hi, Jax. How are you?
Say hi, I'm Jack.
I'm Jack.
You're Jax.
I'm Dakota.
You're very pretty. Yeah.
I'm Dakota.
And I'm Evelyn.
And how old are each of you?
She's 2. I'm 16.
And I'm 12.
Okay.
Yes.
And where did you go for this competition?
Richfield is for the Utah one, and then internationals is in Dallas, Texas.
My goodness.
Oh, there's a good picture of them.
Oh,
Yes,
man.
that's our Utah State Cinderella royalty.
That is so cool. So what do you guys do to compete? Is it really follow along the lines of our Miss Spanish Fork competition, for example?
It's similar. We have an interview like they do, but we have a casual wear where we compete in clothes that you'd wear to like an interview. And then there's talent, which is similar. And then we have beauty wear. And that one we wear our big ball gowns or our short gowns for younger ages.
So those are beauty gowns.
Okay. And then throughout the year, like for example, Miss Spanish Fork has parades to go to and different events. Are there different things for you guys to go to and attend throughout the year to earn your scholarship?
Yes, so we attend local pageants, so we'll go to the counties, and then also we go to parades, and then we just really represent Utah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thanks for being here. And you're all three from Spanish Fork.
Yes.
You've grown up here, go to school here. What school do you go to?
I go to ALA.
Okay.
And I go to Maple Grove.
Maple Grove. And she'll go to preschool one day.
Yes.
And you're related to one of our royalty of Miss Spanish Fork, right?
Yes,
Very
that's
nice,
our
sir.
older sister.
That's your older sister. Okay.
Very cool. Well, come on up. Let's get a picture. And will you guys sign this picture as well?
Congratulations, girls.
Now, can she sign her name yet, or will it just be scribbling?
I'd like to see the scribble.
It's going to be just the same as everybody.
Oh, that's true.
It'll probably be better than the welders.
Yeah.
Gosh, is that the cutest thing ever? I gotta get my phone.
Very good.
Thank you, girls. We're gonna give these to you. You get this piece of paper. It's so exciting.
And can we get a picture with you guys? And then you can just go through and shake our hands. Thanks, ladies. Congratulations. Start it right down there with that.
Thank you so much. Good job. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Get her a treat, Jesse.
Good job.
Yeah, Jesse, she got a treat. She could have a treat. Hang on a sec. Oh, she got a treat.
Choose, right?
Or take them all.
Or take them all.
Choices.
That one? You guys can take some too.
You guys take one.
The welders want to come back.
I was just going to say, they're all now wondering
Yeah,
what.
The welders are like, wait.
Welders are mad.
And the bull rider's like, wait a second, I didn't get candy.
Well, for the bull rider, we have a payday.
Yeah, there you
That's a
go.
good one.
Yeah, that could have worked.
For the welders, we have a
Thanks again, ladies. We appreciate you. Well, those are people that represent Spanish Fork really well all over the state and outside the state. We thank you so much. We all know and drink the Kool-Aid, if you will, of Spanish Fork being a great place. But when you guys go out and represent us like you do in your various specialties and your talents, it means a lot to the community. And so we want you to know you have the backing of not only your mayor and council and staff, but the community as a whole. And so these will hang in the mayor's office. So when we get dignitaries and people that come here, we show them how cool you are and what you do for the city all over the place. So thanks again. Appreciate it. Takes us to some really cool people that are in the city as well. We're to our employees of the second quarter. So we got some of those honors as well. I'm not sure which department is first on the list here. Is it Chris first? Chris gets to go first. And we'll honor some employees of the second quarter in Spanish Fork.
Okay, Jamie, can you come up here? Jamie is our street and stormwater division manager. His wife Rochelle's here. We really have a lot of gratitude to show to Jamie for all the hard work he's done for us this year. We had a third again as much snow in the mountains this year as we did when we had the huge floods of 1983. That's a lot more snow in the mountains than we had then. By rights, we should have flooded, but because of some divine intervention and how the snow melted and the efforts of Jamie and his crews and a lot of people in Spanish Fork City, we were able to come through unscathed. One of the things that is really visible is when we go out and we build sandbag barriers to block floodwaters, and what maybe some people don't realize is that's the backstop. That's if all of our other efforts don't work, that's the final protection we have from the floods. But long before we even thought about sandbagging, Jamie's crews were out there in the river cutting down dead wood, cutting down trees that were leaning across the river or falling across the river, and then working really hard to get permitting and to get equipment down into the river to dredge out the river so that the channel would have enough capacity to handle the high flows. And then, of course, one of the things that is the most dangerous during flood season is erosion. We all saw the pictures in 2005 of house after house falling into the river in St. George because of erosion, and the river just cut out the banks. And so his crews worked really hard to get the banks stabilized where erosion was occurring. And so, anyway, a lot of sleepless nights. Probably a big thanks needs to go to Rochelle as well, who had to live through that. I'm sure he shared with her his worries, and but because of how much he worried about us and protecting the city, we had a great experience where no property was damaged, and that's the goal every year. But maybe give Jamie a few words, if that's all right.
We'll give you 30 minutes, Jamie. Go ahead.
I'm short. I'll be short. Thank you. Out of all my time here at the city, that was the most stressful time. But I couldn't do it without my crew. I got an awesome crew. As far as the river, I mean, that was top to bottom, city, left, right. Everybody dove in on that. I'm just happy at the outcome. And as far as my wife, 3:30 every morning, she'd roll over as I was looking at the iPad. How high is it? How high is it? You know, it's just about high enough. I'm going to get out of bed and leave in a minute. So she did put up with a handful, and I did chew her leg off because I was stressed out about it. But I was extremely happy with the outcome. And like I said, it couldn't have been done without my crew.
Thank you.
Picture time. Picture time. Picture time. Yeah. Need your wife to come up?
Rochelle.
She didn't get any sleep either. Come on. Just a picture. Let's give her a round of applause. Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks.
Yeah, those meetings were happening every couple of days. Well, the river and Jamie on Zoom, and many of us remember those meetings. But I was always surprised that whatever was needed to be done, we thought, okay, well, that's got to be done. And at the end of every meeting, it was Jamie saying, yeah, we'll take care of it. I'll get on it. And then it was done. And then you're reporting the next day that, yeah, we got that done. And I'm just like, do you have 1,000 people that work for you? How do you get that done? But it was just you guys working around the clock. So again, from the city council, from the city collectively, thank you for your efforts. You helped out tremendously avert disaster. So thank you.
Jared's going to introduce the next one.
Okay, perfect. Jared's up.
So the next employee is Travis Warren. He's worked for the city for...
Long time. Is that his first employee?
His wife was kind enough to give us a picture for this presentation. He's been here almost 10 years. He's the city surveyor. He oversees the GIS Blue Stakes and most of the land acquisition in the city. He also is our city's floodplain manager, which you just heard a lot about. So his job is, he's got the certification and does the annual training. So he plays a critical part with getting all the permits and watching the daily reports and getting all the flood or encroachment permits for the state. Without Travis, we probably wouldn't have gotten the emergency permit we needed to get the work done on the river.
He played a vital role in getting the resources needed to get the work done and prevent the flooding this year. As a floodplain manager, we even have an interview with him on KSL, and it hit it out of the park. So
it's what you see now. All of our water comes from Spanish Fork Canyon, from the basins up above here. There's nothing to hold back the water. So when it comes, it comes.
Travis Warren, the city's floodplain manager, doesn't want the water making its way onto the fairway. Or more importantly, in people's homes or damaging city infrastructure. Crews are building levees, digging out sandbars, and clearing out trees and branches in jeopardy.
So a lot of that's Jamie's crews you see in the background, other crews we hired, but he really was a vital part of this. He got all the permits. He met with the officials needed to get this done. He worked with Bowen and Collins, the engineers we hired, to get all the permits and the designs done for all the levees, the berms, and everything that we built. Beyond that, he was out there most every night watching the floodwaters and helping the residents build sandbags. That was one of the crucial things that he had to do, was help the residents along Quail Hollow and other areas get the sandbags built just in case the flooding occurred. He's married with 4 children. His wife Mindy's in the back. There's 4 kids right there. I'll let him say a few words.
Well, I knew Jared was going to do something, so I just want to say I appreciate working here at the city with all of you guys. It's been a good opportunity. This last year was actually really fun. I mean, it was stressful, like Jamie said, but it was really fun to kind of integrate with the other departments and really work as a team to solve a lot of problems. And so I had a lot of fun doing that. I got a great team behind me in the GIS and Blue Stakes. They do a lot of awesome work. Half of what we use here at the city is backed up by those guys, and they do awesome work every day. So I want to make sure I recognize the work that they do, because it's vital, I feel like, for our city. Again, couldn't ask for a better place to work. I have the city manager holding my kid out in the back because she's at an age right now that is impossible to go anywhere. But I just want to say thanks to everyone here. I appreciate it. Love the opportunity I have to work here and be part of the community and do what I get to do. So thanks.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Travis.
Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Candy, guys, we're sending them home with sugar high. Yes. You guys want some candy?
Hey, who wants candy? That's what I thought.
I guess you got to be under a certain age, guys. Choice for the operation.
3 or 4, so they stay up.
Thanks for coming in. Mayor, maybe if I may just steal a moment with these two.
Yep.
There were a number of moments in the fight against the river and in the preparation stages of the river this year where in our meetings, even before we had our meetings, we felt like there were some insurmountable challenges. And Mayor, you touched on the attitude of Jamie and his crews and of Travis. But there were even some moments where, and Jamie will remember some of these, where they're like, we don't care what you say. This is what needs to happen. And we're going to do this. This needs to be done. Jamie even said that. We're going to just go do it, right? And every day, these two individuals were on the river and in the river every day. And sometimes at night, late at night, early in the morning. And their care about the river is absolutely one of the reasons we were successful. Lots of factors associated with it, but we were as prepared as we were because of the efforts of these two. And each had a totally different role, But then each of them worked together. I think they probably became either best friends or like brothers. Maybe sometimes they were, at each other's throats because they were just working together so much. I don't think they were ever at each other's throats, but just, they were spending so much time together dealing with the river. And at some point, Travis was more upstream and Jamie was more downstream. But the combined efforts of these two really are part of our success story. And this is absolutely wonderful opportunity for us to share with them and express our gratitude to them. And needed to say that before they left, because I'm guessing they're going to be out of here in 2.7 seconds.
Yeah, they should be. You shouldn't have to stay. But here's the public apology: is that both those men, I gave out their cell phones to people that they were probably like, "How'd you get my number?" Right? But when people are calling an elected official, who doesn't know anything except that we don't want to flood, and I'm relying on the experts and the people that go put the boots on the ground, and the faith and the trust that you have in people to be able to say, no, call them and they'll tell you how it is and what needs to be done, is just a integral part of an organization that works. And so you guys are part of that organization that really worked during that time where stress levels were really high, but you were also calming factors for us and the public. So thank you. You did a great job. So thank you. Okay, another department that's really important to Spanish Fork and our whole identity and what we do. I believe this is Mr. Dale Robinson that's probably going to introduce this individual.
Yeah, we're absolutely thrilled to have this next individual as part of our Parks and Recreation team, and I'm going to have her Supervisor Bronco Hunter introduce her. You're all going to have to be in the picture anyway.
So, Mayor, I know you got a Sharpie, so if you'll put underneath employee of the quarter, family of the last 15 years as well. Just to give you some brief history, I started the city almost 15 years ago, and one of the first people I worked with was Don Wiley. He works for the DWR, and me and him would wrestle over who had to pay for worms for our community fishery program. But was a wonderful partner, and we did some great things together and built that program up and have actually the biggest community fishing program in the state. The second person I met was his wife, Tracy. She coached youth softball. And crazy thing is these both, so Don coaches soccer. He's the soccer dad. And Tracy's the softball mom. And they coach their daughters, all three of their daughters, from the time they could play in our programs till all the way through high school. And so Tracy, I thought that she would love pink jerseys. I mean, I may have stereotyped a little bit, but figured she liked pink, right? Well, the only complaint she's ever got to me was like, why did you buy me and my team pink jerseys? And that was the beginning of a long working and a great friendship. So when she finished coaching, her kids, and all three of her kids worked for us, by the way, as well, all through high school. But when Tracy finished coaching, I was having a hard time finding site supervisors. That thankless job where they unclog toilets and have parents bending their ear nonstop and a lot of complaints. I asked her if she wanted to be a site supervisor, and she said yes. And I didn't tell her because I wanted her to actually come down and work. And she came and ran our youth softball program for how many years? About 10 years. And it was really weird because I was used to having my phone blow up every night, and when Tracy started, my phone quit ringing. So I'd call her and be like, is everything all right down there? She's like, just quit calling, everything's fine. So many parents call me saying we love Tracy. She's so approachable, has made this program better, knows the game, just love having her down here. She is just vibrant and has made your program so much better. So she did such a dang good job. We asked her if she wanted to work part-time for us as our department's growing. We had more programs we were running, and she reluctantly said yes because she loved being at the ballpark so much. Brought her on part-time. We grew programs together. Continue to grow as a department. She did such a dang good job. We said we need another program coordinator and need you to come on full-time. And she said yes. and did such a good job and continued to work hard, build programs. We had some turnover and have recently promoted her to a program supervisor. And so basically everything I've said is just tells you everything about Tracy. She's taken our program, our pickleball program, to the next level. We just surpassed 120 teams in our Fiesta Days pickleball tournament. She started youth programs, has seen a need with 6 to 12-year-olds to start kids in the park. That program's overfilled and is in demand for another session. Everything she's touched turns to gold, and we struck gold with her, and just happy to have her on our team. We love and appreciate her, and she makes us so much better, and it's my pleasure to award her with a family of 15 years and employee of the quarter. So appreciate the Wyeth family and Tracy and all she does.
Well, like you said, I've been around for a while. Yeah, all my kids went through, we used to live in Spanish Fork, and they all played here and worked back in the day when we could work 12-year-olds. And they did. They all officiated soccer and softball and score kept and stuff. But yeah, when they asked if I wanted to work in the office, it took me a while. I mean, I wanted to work in the office, but I didn't want to leave the fields. But everything I've done with Spanish Fork City, I've loved every aspect of it. We work a lot of nights and a lot of weird hours, and my family has been so great for letting me be gone. But we have a great team at the rec office. We have a lot of fun. We spent a lot of time today laughing and a lot of smack talk with fantasy football coming up. We just have a great time, and I couldn't do it without them and Dale. They're great. And we appreciate the support we have with the City Council. So thanks.
Thank you, Tracy.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Tracy. I'll go back over here.
Kids say that. Thanks again. And Seth, anything to say about Tracy and that department?
I think Bronco did a great job of covering her, but if you listen to her story, it is one of my favorite stories that we've had a few times repeat through the history of Spanish Fork. Somebody starting kind of like Tracy did in a position and growing because she's just a rock star. And I want to maybe note something about the department. You see a couple of people standing there at the back ready to leave as well. They don't just say, oh, hey, Tracy's going to be the employee of the quarter, but they come out in force to support. I love that about the rec department. They rock. But Tracy really has just blossomed in everything that she's done, and for me, it's been fun to watch. I don't get to spend as much time with her, but yeah, I think Bronco did a great job of describing that what she does, it turns to gold, and it's neat to see, and I love her story, and I love to replicate that story. As individuals, you give them an opportunity to grow, and they just flourish, and it's because of her skills, her personality, her abilities, her desire, and her drive. So we really appreciate Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy. Appreciate you so much. Yeah, that department, I think we add stuff to it. Like they work, 5 days a week and Saturdays too. And then we're like, hey, let's do a Fit City fair. And they're probably like, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. But you're there and you take care of business. So thank you so much for making the rec department what it is. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, that takes us to item number 4 on our agenda. Thank you, welders. We'll see you later, Mr. Masick. Take care. Yep, see you next year. This time, same place, yep. Item number 4 on our agenda is public comments. Anybody from the public that would like to address this mayor and city council in kind of a general way. There's no public hearings on the agenda tonight, but public comments. If you'd like to address the mayor and council, please come up and do so. Okay, seeing none, we'll go to council comments, and we're going to start left to right here. So you got some time, Councilman Cardin. Is that all right?
That sounds good.
All right, we'll go with Councilwoman Beck for her council comments first. She's got nothing to say about Fiesta Days,
Nothing.
I'm sure, but other than that, let's hear it.
Okay, let's start with Fiesta Days, Nick. And Emily and Landon, since you're the only two left in the audience, I guess I'll just speak directly to you. Staff, you guys can close your ears. No, really, we're all going to, I'm sure, touch base on Fiesta Days, but it took a small army of volunteers, staff, EMTs, police department, the rodeo staff, like everybody. I know I'm going to forget someone, but I just want to thank everyone. And as Nick's getting pictures up, Miss Spanish Fork and her royalty were at every single event. They were at the rodeo all 5 nights. And right after they would go to the rodeo, they would leave and go over to the city park and be at an event, and then wake up early the next morning and be at the grand parade, the children's parade. They were everywhere. The car show. I mean, they were just fantastic. They were drinking a lot of caffeine and super tired, but they absolutely loved it. So thank you to Miss Spanish Fork and her royalty. And I can't remember, just kind of go through the pictures because I can't remember what I sent you. This was my view from the top of the Ferris wheel with my 2 grandkids. I hadn't been on the Ferris wheel for a long time. And just a beautiful view on the 24th of July right after the parade. And then we were able to get Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson in the parade. So there's Mayor and our Lieutenant Governor. And a big shout out to our Youth City Council. There are about 60 of them, and we got a lot of comments, especially over at the craft vendors and food vendors setup. That day, they were taking shifts, and they would help all of these vendors unload their cars and get all of their supplies, their food, whatever they're selling to their booths. They said they all had a great attitude, and they were just super glad that they were there. So thank you to our Youth City Council. And then this is one of my favorite pictures of Fiesta Days. This is Mayor and Chad, and they don't even know I took that, but this was Chad's last Fiesta Days as city council member. So Chad, I just wanted to give you a shout out. He didn't seem to really miss riding in the parade, but he sure had he was a little more emotional at the end of the rodeo. So this is Mike telling him he loved him and thanks for being with us. So I think that's all with Fiesta Days. The next thing, let's talk about Tabitha's Way. They did a big event on Saturday, and this is Wendy Osborne with Councilman Cardin and I. She hosted the annual backpack giveaway. Jesse, did you ever hear the number of backpacks?
I don't know. I know they had 1,500 available.
Okay.
And they gave out about half. So.
Okay. And so if you know a family in need in the Nebo School District area, you can send them to Tabitha's Way. They have extras, and it's a backpack filled with school supplies. Each of the kids that came were also able to get a lunch and a book on their way out. So it was a really great event. And Tabitha's Way, as we all know, is just such an advocate for those in our community who need a little extra lift. And then last night was the year-end summer reading program right here in the library. There were a lot of fun people. This was my view. I had the chance to be in the wand making room with the teenagers, and when I looked out the window, the line to get in reminded me a little bit of the ribbon cutting. It took a minute to get in, but downstairs was crazy chaotic. That's where all the kids were, and then the teens and adults were upstairs. It was a little more calm and quiet, and it was a Harry Potter theme. Yesterday was Harry Potter's birthday. Did you know that he had a birthday?
I think I told you.
Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, so the whole theme, the whole night was Harry Potter theme. It was really, really neat. So thank you to the library staff. And Scott sent me some numbers. Scott is our library director. He said we continually are breaking records in this new library. This year we had nearly 2,500 people of all ages participate in the summer reading program, and that's up from 2,200 last year. Last night, we estimated that about 1,300 people were at the end of summer party, and last year there was 670. So it's just a big, big increase. So thank you to everyone for coming and supporting the program, and thank you to all of the businesses that helped with donations and prizes. And then he just wanted to remind residents that story times will start back the first week of September. And I just wanted to make a quick mention that there's a communication survey online. The city is gathering feedback about the way the city communicates. So you can just hop online at SpanishFork.org and fill that out so we can do better at communicating with our residents. And talking about communication, I reached out to our engineering department and asked for a little update on our traffic needs this summer. I know they did a really great video early in the spring to let us know what to anticipate. Now we're in mid to end of the summer, and we always are having people ask us about the traffic congestion on Main Street, 10th North, and Highway 6. So I asked Chris if he had any updates that we could share with the residents on traffic. And then I also wanted to specifically ask, as I've been driving around, the roundabout on 3rd West, will that be done before school starts? And the traffic light that is being installed at 8th East and Center Street.
Okay, as far as the roundabout goes, it will be done, it'll be functioning, except for some landscaping, which will be done after school starts. But,
wow, okay.
That should be open. And same with the signal at 800 East and Center Street. A lot of our projects are kind of around schools, and the deadlines are always before school starts. So that's really important to us. So good question.
Okay.
What I wanted to do is just highlight the projects that we're working on right now and maybe talk a little bit about how they will help the traffic at 10th North and US 6 and Main Street. And so we have this, maybe if you press that play button. These are the projects that currently are under construction right now. The first one is Spanish Fork Parkway, which is a railroad crossing. If you look, this is the road that goes all the way down to Maple Mountain High School, out by the neighborhood Walmart. And this crossing is going to be very important to get to the Canyon Creek shopping area. You have Walmart up here, and you have Lowe's and the hospital. This is a very crucial connection that will relieve traffic on US 6 and provide a great way for all those residents to get there. The next one we want to talk about.
Real fast, when is that anticipated to be done?
November.
November, okay.
Everything is in place, but the railroad has 2 crews after us come. So the first crew to lay the tracks has already been here, done a job, but the crossing arm crew is really booked solid, and we couldn't get them until November. So,
okay.
The next one is 1000 North, over by where you have there's a church right here. They had a larger than needed parking lot. They didn't really lose parking stalls, but it was just larger than needed. And so we were able to purchase some land from the church there and put a sidewalk in, as well as add lanes to this very busy intersection. And this is about to be fully open. And we're really excited about having 2 through lanes all the way through here, a dedicated right, which can go here, and then also over here. And then right now we'll have 1 left turn right there. But next summer, when UDOT and Spanish Fork widens US 6, they'll add another left turn lane. So we'll have dual lefts here as well. Really focused on this intersection. It moves a lot of traffic, and it's a very important intersection in our city. The next project is also on 10th North, here by Macy's. What we were able to do is we were able to get a dedicated right lane here to help this intersection work better. This will come into play more and more as the traffic patterns in Spanish Fork are adjusted in the future. Very important project. The next project is just south of there on 8th North and 4th East. This is a very busy intersection. We're really excited to get a signal in. If you look, you can see the signal pole bases are in, and we're about to get the signal arms put up and get that signal in place. The next project is a little bit further east on 8th North and US 6, both sides of US 6. In fact, the first part of the project is we put a signal in right here by where Target's going in, and then we were able to widen the road and add 2 lanes here, another through, and then a dedicated right here by where Arby's is. This should significantly help this area. There's another aspect to this project which is under construction as well, and it's going up to the next intersection. We're putting a light in there, and that is the intersection that goes up to where Lowe's is and Walmart, and so it should help a lot with the traffic on US 6. And then, if you go across US 6, this has always been kind of a problematic intersection for the city. You have just a short little neck of road before you get to a big signalized intersection here, but then you also have a signalized intersection here. And we were able to work with the surrounding properties and widen the road a little bit here, enough that we can now add a lane. We're waiting until this road actually gets resurfaced, and once it's resurfaced, then we'll add the lane, and you'll be able to see 2 through lanes here, one to go to these dual lefts, and then the other through lane will come to the through and the through right, and then you'll have a dedicated right lane here. So we're happy to announce to the Texaco owners that people will no longer have to cut through their property to make a right turn, which is illegal. We don't encourage that at all.
Hey, Chris, before you leave that one, can you go back? Do you know how to do that with this system?
I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, there we go.
This is one of the most challenging intersections that we have, this one and at 10th, because of the grid system that was overlaid with a diagonal highway. And many residents would look at this and say, oh, what a terrible planning job that the city did, or, this is a terrible whatever. And this ship started to sail, what was it, the 80s or 90s when Highway 6 was put into place, that diagonal across the grid. If you go across Highway 6 onto the trailer court, you can still see the road. You can still see the lines painted for the road there that would have just gone straight through there, that was traversed by this highway when they built Highway 6 way back when. And so we keep dressing up this intersection and trying to make it work well. There are a couple of other solutions that you could employ here, but those solutions typically cost
north of $10 million.
Starting point of $2 million and somewhere around $10 million, and so we really don't want to do that. That'll blow our transportation budget for about 5 years.
Gas stations are expensive.
Yeah. So anyways, I love the ingenuity, and some people get frustrated that we keep doing things, but we just work on this little by little, and it gets improved every time. I'm excited about this one.
So that should be opened up soon with the extra lanes. The next project we want to focus in on is 4th North and 3rd West. This is one that Stacy was asking about. Will this be open when school starts? And so you can see that the contractor's prepping for asphalt, which is a really good sign. And all of the road type work should be done by the time school starts. There'll be some landscaping in this island, and then along the edges of the project that will be done after school starts, but the traffic part of it will all be done. So we're really excited about this project. Roundabouts have been proven to be a much safer solution for traffic than a signalized intersection. We have a video on our website that explains that really well, but suffice it to say that there's 37% less accidents at a roundabout than a signal. And then of the accidents, there's actually 74% less injury accidents. They're very safe. The accidents there are very slow-moving type accidents that are not dangerous if there are accidents. So we're excited about this project. It should open up a very good corridor alternative to Main Street. So if I live on this side of town and I want to go to Macy's or Costco, I don't need to travel on Main Street. I can come through this continuous flow intersection up 3rd West, turn on 8th North, go through Main Street, and then over to those signals that take you to Macy's or Costco's or Neaters, any of those places. So that should be a great alternative for the residents of Spanish Fork. The next project we want to highlight is a signal at 800 East and Center Street. This little sign kind of hides it, but we added a lane, a right turn lane right there. You can kind of see it. So this intersection should move very efficiently, get people on 8th East. That should be an E right there. Yep. But anyway, this will allow people to more efficiently travel up 8th East from like Canyon Road or some of those areas up to our shopping areas without having to go to Main Street. So we're excited about that project. And that will be done by the time school starts. And then finally, 1150 East, a lot of improvements are being made there. This is where a stop sign was recently removed right here for north-south. It was unwarranted, but part of this project is going to be to add some safety improvements, which actually prove much safer than a four-way stop, and that is we're going to have some islands put in, just like what we did on 1430 East at that school crossing. It worked very effectively at slowing traffic down as they come through here. This creates some friction so that it's not comfortable to go fast through the intersection. It also provides some protection for the students who want to cross here. They have some protection on both sides of their crossing across the intersection. They have less road area to cross. And then the RRFBs, the buttons that you push and then the yellow lights start flashing, those will actually be located in the islands where they're very visible. One of the things that we learned is that this is a very well-used road by bicyclists. There's an app called Strava where when people ride their bikes, they record it, and Strava keeps track of where all those bikes are running. And so as far as the Strava users go, this is a heavily used road, and not everyone uses Strava, so again, it's more bicyclists than even that shows. But that being said, the bike lanes will actually be protected by the islands as well, so we're excited about that. One of the things that we are also doing is we are tearing out all the corners that don't have pedestrian ramps for the kids to walk on or anyone, and we're replacing those with handicap ramps all the way up and down 1150 East. So we'll bring all of that up to standard, and then once that's done, we'll resurface the whole road. We'll have a brand new road, and we will stripe it with the bike lanes as we talked about. But we're really excited about this improvement right here. At the end of Larson Elementary, you'll still have parking along the elementary school for picking up kids or what have you, but starting at this road here, we will add a lane going all the way up to the intersection with Center Street. And a lot of people who travel this road know that, especially during peak hour traffic with the two schools opening or beginning, traffic can back up from this point all the way through that intersection where Larson Elementary is. And so by doubling the amount of traffic that can be queued up here, we feel like this should make a huge improvement to those peak hour traffic issues, especially for people who are taking their kids to the Diamond Ford Middle School and are turning left. They're going to be able to back up through here and not impinge on the traffic that's going to turn right to go to Highway 6. So we're excited about that project, and the contractor promises that will be done before school starts as well. So we're holding these contractors to their word on these things, and we're confident they'll get it done. Yep. Any questions about any of that? Oh, here's the handicap ramps being replayed or added.
Chris, I texted you this morning like at 7 o'clock because I was just kind of getting my thoughts together this morning, and I just texted him and said, hey, can you just give us a quick update on traffic? That was very thorough. And we talk about traffic amongst staff and council regularly, and it's hard for me to keep up on it. So I thought if I need to hear about it, I'm sure all the residents need some updates. So thank you so much for being so thorough.
I
appreciate
a really good engineering office that they stepped up and just made this at a moment's notice. Didn't complain at all. I kept apologizing, and they're just like, no, we're happy to do it. They care very deeply about the traffic. And
yeah, I just thought you'd come up here and ramble off some dates. So thank you.
Yeah.
This was very helpful.
And maybe just a plug for the different roadshow episodes that we've recorded. Those are really informative. They are exciting TV. Riveting, but if you have a moment to watch either of those, very informative on the different issues and resolutions that we've been working on. This is a major topic for us, and certainly one we hear a lot about. Traffic problems aren't created overnight, and they're not resolved overnight, and they're always really expensive. So I appreciate the work, Chris.
Great.
Thank you, Chris. Wow, and I think I'm done with my council comments. I think those are my longest ever. So thank you.
That's all right. Setting records are good. Yeah, those are good ones. Thank you, Councilwoman Beck, and thank you, a public thank you to Councilwoman Beck. We've given her the Fiesta Days assignment as we have different assignments up here as council and mayor. She's taken it and run with it, so it's a lot of work. Thank you.
A lot of fun.
I'm sure it's a lot of fun. I'm sure you and Chris need a break after it too. So thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah. Councilman Argyle.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll just probably second most of the stuff to Stacy. I'd also like to thank Stacy. She's on that committee and takes a lot of time. She keeps us going where we need to be in the right shirt sometimes and dresses us pretty well. So thank you to the Grand Marshal, which was Wayne and Melanie Anderson. I think they had a ball doing that. They were at the rodeo, they were at the parade, and many other things. I think they thoroughly enjoyed being that. And I'll second to our first responders. Chief, your officers, I know they probably dread the 2 weeks, and same with Chief Hales, Chief Hales, our EMS and paramedics and the fire department put forth their best effort, and it takes a lot to get it through but it is a good celebration. Spanish Fork, that's my favorite celebration, the best time I think of the year, with our opportunity to see our families, be with our families, go to these celebrations and enjoy each other's company, put on an awesome rodeo, and just grateful for all the volunteers. We mentioned our youth council, and we've got 60 of them this year plus, and they do such an awesome job, and they stand up they pick up many things in many of these little celebrations that we have. They help the senior citizens, and they do it with a smile and a glad hand, and we're so grateful to have that. Not many cities have that many kids that want to actually serve their community and while they're in high school. So grateful to that youth council. Grateful to the many volunteers that help us get through that. So thank you, Mayor. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Argyle. Councilman Euler.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to echo what's been said about Fiesta Days. It has been a great celebration. I think everybody in Spanish Fork looks forward to it every year. Just want to thank again everybody that volunteered and helped with that, but I also specifically want to thank SF-17. Those guys show up at every single event and record everything that takes place related to Fiesta Days. I was watching last night, and there was the pie baking contest on YouTube, right? If you want to watch the pie baking contest, I encourage you to watch it on a big screen and in slow motion, because those pies looked delicious. Fantastic. So great job, SF-17, for the work that you did with Fiesta Days. Just a couple of dates that I want to make people aware of for this week and next. August 7th, I know a lot of our seniors in Spanish Fork have been looking forward to this. August 7th, the Senior Center is back in session. Oh, Nick's got it up. Here we go. You'll see what I'm talking about. These are the pie baking. This is the pie baking contest. Slow motion makes it so much better, I'm telling you.
Where's the smell vision then?
I was impressed with the amount of pies that got submitted. And next year, I'm hoping that the Fiesta Days Committee, Stacy, will ask the City Council and the Mayor to maybe help with.
Well, I would have totally
judging.
volunteered us, but we were over at the rodeo.
Oh. Maybe they can save some at least. That's a lot of pie.
Yeah, I mean, they seemed very happy to take it on themselves.
But yeah, that looked awesome. So great job.
If you skip ahead, you'll see them cutting into it.
Yeah, look at that slow motion. That's
We
great.
needed delivery.
That's good TV right there.
That may
Thank you,
be
Nick.
better than Seth's traffic study show.
No way.
It's a toss-up.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the important dates. So again, August 7th, our Senior Center is back in session. I've had quite a few seniors saying, when do we get going again? And mark your calendars. First meal back will be August 7th. Also on August 7th in the evening, we have the city's hosting the Public Safety Night Out. I want to make sure everybody's aware of that. That'll be at 6 p.m. at the North Park. It's an opportunity for our residents and the kids in the community to go out and see up close and personal fire trucks, the fire trucks, the paramedics, the ambulance. I've heard possibly rumors that they're going to let the 8 and 9-year-olds play with the tasers. Chief Johnson can confirm that. I don't know, but August 7th, Monday night, 6 p.m. at the North Park. And then tomorrow, this is big news for the South Utah Valley Animal Shelter, which is here in Spanish Fork. They're always looking for donations, and they always have needs with the animals that they've got down there. And tomorrow, there's a big announcement. They are receiving from Petco Love, which is a nonprofit at the Petco store. They're receiving a grant. Going to get the big check for $100,000, which is a big grant. Wow. So big, exciting news for the animal shelter. So that will take place tomorrow. So we'll have some pictures, hopefully, to show at next council meeting. That's all I had. Thank you, Mayor.
Very good. Thank you, Councilman Euler. Councilman Cardin.
Thank you, Mayor. I first want to, echo what everyone has said, but thanks to our employees. Our Parks Department puts in a lot of hours, and all the employees during Fiesta Days. Our police, maybe we need to get some sunscreen next time. We won't call out any specific officers, but there were some very burnt officers by the end of the week.
He has a cowboy hat, but he chose not.
He has a cowboy hat, we are told. Our fire and EMS and our volunteers, it's just a lot of hours to make our Fiesta Days what it is, and it's what makes our community great. And so thank you to everyone who puts in the time, the effort, and makes sure it happens. I first want to show one of the events that we haven't talked about, and that's the ducks, the adopted duck that Chad did not win again. The Fire Association puts that on. They have these bright orange duck wrangling shirts that were there. And I was warned before I took my kids, and I didn't heed the warning that you need to prepare for mud because the kids will get in. And they did. I didn't get a picture of that sent to Nick, but they were dirty. But thank you to the volunteers of that, the Firefighter Association, who are volunteer firefighters who make sure that happens, and all those that made it happen. It was great. Like lots of rewards, lots of people walking the river, enjoying the river that had been neatly trudged, and it was just a good event. So thank you. Second thing I want to talk about is our airport. There's a lot of things going on at our airport right now. The runway is continuing progress on being redone, and it sounds like it's went well. No complaints that at least our last airport board meeting, I can speak, to speak of. Everyone said that the detour was working. Chris, you haven't heard anything different, have you? No, so everything seems to be working well there. Want to let you know of a couple of dates at the airport. The first is on August 19th, which is a Saturday. The airport board sponsors a breakfast down there, trying to help people to know what's going on at the airport, so come down to that. And then on September 22nd and 23rd will be the Wings and Wheels. So it'll be 2 dates, because of the runway expansion. So 4 to 9 p.m. on the 22nd, and then at 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. They wanted me to ask you, Mayor, if you are ready for your part of that.
Yeah, it better involve blowing something up.
I think so,
right?
At least that's what I'm told.
Yep.
So, okay, and then another committee that I get to serve on is the Arts Council, and during Fiesta Days, they were able to do a little play. It wasn't little at all. It was actually really big and well done. It was Matilda. And Nick, you have something pulled up there, so I'm hoping that... Yeah.
It was amazing.
So if you didn't get a chance to see it, it was incredible. Fireworks, the chokey, they said that they were...
She was terrible.
She was terrifying.
She was terrible. I mean, in a good way.
Yeah,
Terrible.
it was great, and the amount of hours and preparation that those kids specifically went through to make that happen was awesome. So kudos to them. They did such a great job. So if you missed it, you missed a good show. So they'll do something else next year. Last thing that I have on this part is Harvest Moon Hurrah. Just get that on your calendars as well. That'll be on the 9th of September, towards the afternoon, evening time. I don't have the exact time in front of me, but just make sure you have that marked off. And then the chamber asked me to cover for them because Kathleen is up at the 3 to 9 or 8 p.m. Okay, there you go. Thanks, Nick. Nick's got me covered. The chamber has a lot of things going on. Kathleen is actually at a convention representing Spanish Fork up at that convention right now, so she asked me to cover for her. If you were at the Fiesta Days parade and you got a ping pong ball, please get those turned in ASAP. They have a lot of rewards that haven't been claimed, so please do that. And then they have a slew of events that they're hosting, so I'll say them fairly quickly, but if you want more details, the Chamber's website or Facebook is probably the best place to go. On the 3rd, they're doing a Meet the Candidates here at the library at 5:30. There's a ribbon cutting in Salem at the McDonald's at 4 p.m., or August 4th, at noon. They're doing a ribbon cutting at Bedrock Granite, August 11th at noon. A ribbon cutting at I Heart Mac and Cheese, August 14th at noon. They're hosting Burgess Owens here in town on August 16th. They're doing a new networking August 17th at the Hampton Inn with Jurassic Park. Wow, that'd be fun. Jurassic Taco sponsoring. They're doing another ribbon cutting on August 18th at noon, another one on August 23rd at noon. There's a lot going on in the chamber, and then another one on August 30th. And we'll give probably more details as we get closer to those. But a lot going on at the chamber, a lot going on in the city, and so thank you for all that is going into making our community great. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Cardin. Appreciate all your work on all those committees, everyone. Little update before I give my Fiesta Days minute, maybe. But we had a rec center meeting. We have those regularly about every week, every couple of weeks at least, with the different companies that are working on our rec center. So you saw an update that was released last council meeting, a couple weeks ago now. That there will be more information coming out, but I can't tell you how excited we are to share that with you. This walkthrough that the architects can show you of more details of this design. I know I've had a lot of families tell me it's a tough year without a community pool, and we're about through that summer without a community pool. Councilman Euler shared an article at KSL a week ago that linked to community pools and how important those are for local cities. And I hope residents, I know that All Abilities Park has been used heavily. I know the water there has. I know the water at the splash pad at North Park has been used heavily. I know the library, when it's 100 degrees, people find their way indoors and in AC and try to beat the heat. So again, we couldn't be more excited to show you what's up and coming for the rec center. We anticipate in a couple of weeks another update there to spread to all of you what will go on there. You'll start to see some grub and clearing of the site down there. People have noticed that there's already a trailer on site there for the contractors to meet in daily, and you're going to start seeing that area change quite drastically. So we'll let you know of some up and coming things that will be exciting about the rec center. My Fiesta Days minute, I don't know if I could add too much to what you guys said, besides just the way that brings us as a community together, the way it brings families together is certainly a fun thing. I sure appreciate every aspect that goes into it, all the volunteers that are at so many different things. I felt like after it, it was a little bit of Fiesta Days of first and last. It's the first Fiesta Days that I've spent with family without my mom hanging out with us, and then Stacy shares that picture with us one night of me with an arm around Chad, and it's his last Fiesta Days as a councilman, and we're both kind of emotional about that. But that's what Fiesta Days is to our community. It's kind of those important people in our lives that we get to hang out with and celebrate our town with. Specifically, the rodeo. I want to touch on just a message that I got after one of the nights that is a person originally from New York City that spends some time out here and is involved in some rodeos, but had never seen anything like the rodeo he attended here in Spanish Fork. And his text to me was, "That was one of the most fun nights I've ever had. We are enamored with Spanish Fork. Tremendously appreciate your hospitality. It's an evening I'll remember for the rest of my life." And this guy doesn't need to blow a lot of smoke to the mayor of Spanish Fork, but it was a genuine text of what I think a lot of us feel like when we get a chance to go to the rodeo or to the pie baking or to the Sunday night in the park or whatever it is. People just become enamored with Spanish Fork, and this gentleman did as well. So thank you to the many hours, volunteers that pull it off, make it happen, and everybody that keeps us safe while we're out celebrating with each other for a week in July. So just a fun time that I know we'll all remember. So thank you to the community for coming out. Yeah, I think that's all I have for my mayor comments today, except to say thanks to you guys again. It's a lift It is, all of you, as I took pictures. Oh, Nick, I sent you pictures. I have a couple pictures. The mayor gets to judge a car. So here's the car show. Come on, Nick. Chad. I know Chad was enamored with his truck. I'm not sure how you left without buying it, except yours is what's your old truck? It's
72.
a Chevy.
Yeah.
Well, this is a Ford, so I don't know that you would have voted for this one. But this is the one Jagger picked at the car show. And it was a yellow Ford F100, I think. It was in the 50s. I'm setting it up, Nick. I don't know how long else you want me to take. But yeah, that right there, that was a really, really cool truck. If I found the owner, whoever owned it, I'd have said, hey, I'll pick you if I can drive it for a minute.
I think it's Tom Beckstrom.
Tommy J. Beckstrom's.
Is that his?
Yeah.
Well, then hook me up.
That car was built by Natalie Kramer. Natalie Crandall's dad started that from the ground up. When he passed away, he gave it to her, and she sold it to Tommy J. Beckstrom. And he did some really cool updates to it, and it is a 53 Ford.
And Jagger has good taste.
Yes, he does. He has good taste.
That was a cool truck. Lots of cool trucks, cars, boats, things, motorcycles that were down there to check out and look at. And it was just a little warm down there, just a touch.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my
Yeah.
gosh, hot. But thanks, everybody, for coming out. You also, when you get to be the mayor, you get to pick a winner from the float side of things. And Stacy and I drove around and checked out a lot of cool floats, and Compassion Mobility was the Mayor's Award winner. They had our theme incorporated right where you belong, into their float, and just a bunch of beautiful people and kids. So congratulations, local business, Compassion Mobility. I know they're a big part of the chamber, right, Jesse?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Involved with businesses all over the town. But they were the Mayor's Award winner, and I don't remember really what else I sent you, Nick, so you could forget it or scroll through it. But what is it? Is it anything good?
No.
Come on. I think I did duplicate. I think I did get Chad's. Oh, that one right there. So there you go,
boy.
Council. That's an okay picture
That's a
right
good
there.
one.
Yeah.
Right one. I didn't know. I was
Yeah.
being snarky.
Yeah.
Oh.
So thank you, Council, going down the parade and doing your duties all week long for Fiesta Days to pull it off too. So good work, fun times. And there's Chad and I sharing a hug and a kiss. Did we kiss after that? Just hug? I can't remember.
I don't think we can.
Okay. All right. Well, it was a good, touching moment, and it was good rodeo every night, and it was Chad's last one of riding around in the arena. So we wanted to make sure we paid homage to that. Been a good council member, a good public servant to his city, and he deserves some accolades for that. So thank you, Chad.
Thank you.
Okay. Now I have no more pictures, so we'll go to consent items.
Motion to approve consent items.
Motion made by Councilman Argyle.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Euler. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
The consent items are approved. It takes us to item number 7, new business. 3 of these on the agenda. Item A is SR 147 Corridor Agreement, Addendum 1. This is usually Jared Johnson that takes care of Addendum 1. Is that not you? Well, I'm helping you out here.
He feels a little bit underdressed.
I found out this morning that it's going to be here, so.
It's a good thing you don't live too close.
Yeah, Chris just barely walked out. He could have taken care of this.
Don't blame Chris. You could have gone home and changed during this meeting.
You're fine.
I had the rec center meeting at lunch.
During
This is great television.
anybody that puts the baby picture of Travis up on the screen deserves at least a little bit of
razzing. That's right.
razzing back,
I
right?
did the video. Nick was the picture. I actually asked him, maybe we should put the picture up. He said, too late. This is an addendum to an agreement that's already existing for State Road 147, 400 North. We have a corridor agreement with all our state roads that go through town. What these agreements do is identify the intersections that will be controlled by either a traffic signal or a roundabout. So this addendum adds a proposed traffic signal or roundabout at 2040 East on 400 North, and this is the road that goes into Legacy Farms and comes off from, there's the mini roundabout that's right there next to
Maple Mountain.
Maple Mountain High School. Sorry, lost that for a minute.
But that's pretty much it. So after we get this agreement in place, we can do a warrant study, and then UDOT will pay for, because as part of the agreement, they will pay for the portion of what the signal will cost.
About how long would it take for something to go there from now?
From now to get the warrant done and actually put a traffic signal in would be a year. They're that far out with the actual still. Same with the roundabout. It'd probably take about a year. So, but we can do the study now, so we'll study it, see when it's warranted, and get it programmed to be put in. So,
This is me and Jesse and Chad's neighborhood. We want this done. Yeah, so tell them to move it up.
well, yeah, this is the first part. So,
okay. Thank you, Jared. Any questions for Jared on this?
Maybe before you leave, Jared, timing on the light at 2300 East?
it's in design. We had to get an exception because we didn't have enough money to actually widen the road and add the lanes into it. So we got an exception through UDOT, so it's in the design phase. It should be put up this fall.
So before the end of 24, we should have the signal arms up. Okay, thanks.
And when you say 2300 East?
Canyon Road.
Canyon Road,
yeah.
okay.
So I hope I'm saying that right, but from what I understand, everything's scheduled to be done and built this fall, so it could, depending on still, take months after that. But we're in the design phase, and UDOT's agreed to pay for it. So, okay.
Bonus.
Good. Thank you, Jared. I would entertain a motion on item A.
I move to approve SR-147 corridor agreement, addendum number 1.
Second. Motion made by Councilwoman Beck, seconded by Councilman Cardin. This is a roll call vote. Councilman Cardin?
Yes.
Councilman Euler?
Yes.
Councilman Argyle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Beck?
Yes.
Item A is approved. Takes us to item B, the ordinance amending Title VII of the Municipal Code pertaining to commercial use of city-owned property.
Yes. Let me just, and you have it before you, but this is an amendment to Title VII, as the mayor mentioned. And let me just read a couple things to you. There were some minor changes to this. The major one is it'll be unlawful to sell anything or otherwise engage in any sort of commercial activity in a city park, in a city building, or on city-owned property, whether for profit or otherwise, without prior written or consent. Also, a couple of exceptions on there. Of course, Spanish Fork City sponsored events, Utah County Fair, and other events are permitted by Spanish Fork City. They're exempt from the provisions of this.
Dale, has this been a problem? Is that why it's being added?
Yeah, it's been a problem for years, but it's becoming more and more prevalent. We have people that'll go up to Adventure Heights and start selling things inside the park. We do have food trucks that sometimes go to Adventure Heights or other parks and just set up and start selling things without getting prior authorization. So yeah, it's been a problem for quite some time, but it seems to be getting worse. So
They could still do that. They just need to get the permission. So
they need to get proper authorization.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think this is something certainly worth pausing and discussing. And from the Parks Department perspective, as a vendor goes in, let's say at Adventure Heights, they might go in and begin pestering. I'll use that word. It's a strong word, and it's certainly somewhat prejudicial, but
it has happened.
But they'll go in and kind of pester people as they're sitting with their kids, doing whatever, and that's and that's not really the experience that we think we're wanting to provide in that park. The balance to it is that this also precludes your child setting up a lemonade stand in the park, and the pendulum swings all ways, I think, on this. They don't necessarily have to have business licenses, but I think it would preclude them from selling in the park because that's not their place, right? They could anyways, that's a different law. But so this is intended to eliminate all of those, but for the events where we specifically say it's going to happen, like the chamber-sponsored, or I guess it's now city-sponsored, children's market that we do in the park, that kind of a thing, right? That's a day where everybody's all in on those kinds of selling activities. But this is something that the Parks Department has looked at and from their perspective would like to eliminate that selling it's a hard line. It's a bright line, and I'm pointing the spotlight on it because I want to make sure that we understand clearly what it is that this is intending to do. But it is not from the vantage point we're looking at more is from the patron of the park experience, not from the person that's wanting to sell something. They can sell something somewhere else. Just don't do it in our park. Let our people recreate when they're there. That's, I think, our perspective.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. That really is the challenge.
So when we talk about Adventure Heights, for example, a lot of people think of inside the park is after you've passed through the gates and you're in the park, right? But this would apply to any city-owned property, which would then include the parking area outside of the actual parking area.
That's correct. Yeah, any city-owned property anywhere. Yeah, without proper authorization, you can't set up and sell your stuff.
And I think the reason for that bright line is if you expressly pull the parking lot out, I think, and Vaughn, you can weigh in on this, but I think you might almost make that a public space where anybody could go set up shop, and now all of a sudden you have kind of a flea market potential. And once one person goes, you can't really stop it because it's allowed, and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 100. And that's a pretty big leap I just took, right? But that is the possibility when you allow one. And I think our position really is just simply, this isn't the place for that. This is where we want to go recreate.
Okay.
Well, and also we don't want the citizens to pay for facilities, and other people are monopolizing off of our facilities and our events, when they haven't gotten permission to do that. And there's certainly a time and a place for that, and we provide venues to be able to do some of those sort of things. But yeah, that's our intent.
I'm sure a question will come up of how do they petition to get that to happen? Is it just coming to the Parks Department and asking, or is there email? What's the best way?
They need to make application to the Parks and Rec Department.
Okay.
We have special event applications that we have them go through. But I want to make it clear, this is not, hey, just come ask us. We're going to draw a pretty hard line.
Right.
And we have done for several years. We just haven't felt it in writing in terms of the code, but now feel like that's necessary. So, yeah, we just don't want to. We don't want it to happen in facilities.
Doesn't affect Food Fridays. We have an event like that we're talking about.
That's completely authorized through our department. Again, a lot of these you'll see things that are our department will invite people in. We invite them to Pyro Musical. There are places where we want those things to happen, and we need those vendors to be there.
Yeah, your food trucks on Friday night, that's an example of you saying, this is where we want to be. And
we invite them because we want them to be there. So.
Good. Thank you, Dale. Any other questions, Dale or staff on that? Okay. If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve item B.
I move to approve the ordinance amending Title VII of the Municipal Code pertaining to the commercial use of city-owned property.
Second. Motion made by Councilman Cardin, seconded by Councilman Argyle. A roll call vote here. Councilwoman Beck?
Yes.
Councilman Argyle?
Yes.
Councilman Euler?
Yes.
And Councilman Cardin?
Yes.
Item B is approved. Takes us to item C, the ordinance amending Title IX regarding disturbing landfills.
Mayor and Council, as you know, we have a few landfills or former landfills in our city. Some of those have been, I would say, remediated or put to some other use. We have a solar farm on one. Certain commercial and residential development have been able to be constructed on former sites of landfills. And we had some recent screening activity that caused us some concern that was digging into existing landfill and separating trash from the soil in that matrix there. And so we looked at our standards. Our standards do prohibit any construction upon any trash or landfill, like a building or a parking lot or public streets like that. But it did not specifically address, actually penetrating the landfill, removing debris, and screening it, sorting it. And so this ordinance would go a step further and just prohibit anybody to remove, to uncover, to expose, disturb, or otherwise, process landfill materials without some approval from the city and complying with existing laws and regulations, and then ultimately disposing of the trash that's been separated in a lawful way at a landfill or a transfer station. Some properties can be remediated, but some others maybe not. Maybe the highest and best use is as a landfill, right? Maybe that's something you want to leave undisturbed. But like I mentioned, there's some that could be, and we have done that in the past, or allowed that to occur in the past. And so that's the discussion I wanted to have tonight. I think that this prohibition, this rule, this ordinance would be a good first step to prevent any of that without taking a closer look at it, from complying with state regulations and also having a remediation plan that is vetted and reviewed by the city. Do you have any questions about?
So in Spanish Fork, we've only ever had the one landfill, is that right? Over back behind.
There's
Can we phone an oiler?
So
hard to delineate.
Yeah, this area right here in this map is probably the biggest area in question from probably the bottom of the screen, generally speaking, up to this area generally up here. If I recall my Spanish Fork history, there was a Springville landfill, a Spanish Fork City landfill, and a Utah County landfill. And they started, I don't know the dates, in the 60s. Chad, you're going to be my resident landfill expert. Mr. I buried things everywhere. Treasure hunt, right? But it's something like that, right, in the 60s or so. And if you look at maps, aerial maps of this part of the world back in the 60s, it was way out there, right? This was a great place for it.
Oh, wait. I lived on 4th East.
And you probably thought you drove for hours before
There
you got
wasn't,
there.
yeah, there was nothing between me and the landfill, really. I mean, a few homes.
Yeah, and so it was a great location, right? But now it's not. It's in the center of a lot of stuff. There are a few other places where we've had debris, where we have, through different development processes, found debris buried in large quantities. Not quite a landfill, but
like construction debris.
Yeah, but for many intents and purposes, maybe not all intents and purposes, it was just like a landfill.
So Spanish Fork City itself doesn't necessarily own all of the property that we're talking about when we talk about prior landfills, right? Certainly. So these could be other private property owners?
Absolutely.
This would apply to? So
absolutely.
I guess when we add an ordinance, the thoughts that I have or the questions that I have are what's happening or what's the problem that's taking place that's causing us to direct
let's show. Do you mind if we show a video?
Absolutely, no, that'd be great.
So this is a video of trying to sort out dirt from garbage so that dirt can be reused and garbage can be hauled away. But let's replay that, maybe even put it on a loop for a second. What I want you to focus on is, as this is happening around our community, right, there are some homes in the area, there's some businesses in the area, certainly a lot of traveling in the area. This debris is blowing away, and
back in the dirt.
This isn't what we want in our community, right? And especially when somebody comes into owning this property, buying this property, they know it's a landfill. They're told in every way possible that they have to get rid of the garbage if they're going to use it. Separating the soil from the trash was never an option contemplated, but it isn't an option that's specifically outlawed by law. And so as we've considered this and the possibility of this happening over and over again, we think this is a really bad thing to happen at Spanish Fork.
So they would just come to the DRC with the way that they're going to remediate the garbage, and then the DRC gives them approval or not, and then they go forward.
Right, and they'd also have to have state approval as well through the Department of Environmental Quality, Division of what's it called?
So
Division of Solid Waste.
I assume the video was recent, right?
Yeah.
So if this goes into effect, somebody then go out and approach them and say, you can no longer do this? What's the next step?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. If it occurs again, then it would be a violation. Unless they bring forward, like there is that exception in the ordinance to do a remediation plan. If it can be, let's look at what methodology they propose to use and let's evaluate it. But right now, we want to put a stop to it.
We own the landfill that we owned. We purchased the landfill, or most of the landfill that Springville owned, not all of it, but most of it. And that's, I think, where the solar panels are, is on that one. And then we've never owned the one that Utah County owned, and I think that's under private ownership.
Okay. And that's where
we have had a lot of conversations with different landowners about what we expect can and can't be done, and I think there's been really clear direction. Dave, would you describe it that way? Clear direction about what can and can't be done, and that especially as the world kind of closed in around that. For example, as Lowe's was built, as the Hobby Lobby was built in this particular area, that the window of garbage removal was getting more and more narrow, because when you break through the cap of a landfill, it's not the sweetest smell, right? And the prevailing wind generally pushes it away from where it is, and so we
Cap's
want
there for a reason, right? To keep it from flying away and
smelling
emitting
away.
It smells.
Yeah.
And Seth, I mean, maybe you asked a question a second ago. I don't necessarily think the situation of dealing with the buried garbage that we have in this part of the community really is a one-size-fits-all for every situation. I think the language that Vaughn's put together here does give us an opportunity to consider each case, to give a property owner an opportunity to put a plan together that could be a